Elisabeth GUIGOU, thank you very much for being with WPC TV. You're a socialist deputy in the French National Assembly for many years now, I think, and previous minister, and also you're now, I think, in charge of one of the committees for foreign affairs in the National Assembly. From a French point of view, French foreign policy seems to be quite active these days. First of all, in holding up things, I'd put it that way, with the agreement in Geneva with Iran, and secondly, predating in one sense, interventions in Africa, first of all in Mali, and now again in the Central African Republic. What is the aim now of French foreign policy? What are you trying to do?
I think that the French diplomatic policy is really at first concerned by peace. I would say peace, climate, and Europe, of course. Those are, in my view, the three main priorities now.
All of them very difficult.
Very difficult. As far as climate is concerned, you know, we are going to host the next climate conference in Paris in 2015. Europe maybe will talk about that later. Now, peace. We have been very active both on the Syrian crisis, which is probably the most horrible tragedy since the last World War. And I would say I am not very optimistic about the situation there, because, as you know, our diplomacy has helped the democratic opposition, the Syrian coalition. We have been a leader in the support to the coalition, but the more time passes and the more this coalition is in a difficult position. So we hope that the Geneva conference will be held in January.
With Iran taking part?
Well, my personal view is that Iran should be invited. Of course, there are conditions to that. First, that Iran should accept the wording of the first Geneva conference. I'm not sure this is still the case, but maybe the recent agreement on interim agreement on nuclear question will help. I hope so. But I hope that the American diplomacy will accept the presence of Iran. I'm not sure.
We can keep our fingers crossed.
And of course, the best scenario would be for Iran to accept the third Geneva conference condition wording, then for Iran to be invited to come, and for Saudi Arabia as well.
Indeed.
To come, because there is a kind
In the end, there needs to be a rapprochement between the Saudis and the Iranians, and that's the Sunni-Shia divide.
So, and I hope that if this conference second conference in Geneva is held, I hope it will produce results. But I'm not so sure, because the situation on the ground is not favorable to the democratic opposition. Extremist groups are gaining ground, and the decision taken by the Americans and the British to stop the sending non-lethal weapons is, of course, I understand the reasons, but not very good news.
Your third point was Europe.
Yes.
That's a word which covers a multitude of sins.
No, well, of course, the most urgent thing is to make sure that the Eurozone is durably out of turbulence. And I think that the worst, of course, is behind us. The situation is very different from what it was a year and a half ago. but we still have to consolidate that. And the banking union is on a good trail, so we already have. We need to complete the monetary union, as you know, by an economic union. So I think we are making progress.
But the implication of the economic union is that you also have more of a political union. Is that in the end acceptable to France in this case?
Yes, I think so. Provided, you know, we have maybe a different definition of the political union than that of the Germans. The Germans, it has always been the case.
Yeah.
They think more in terms of institutional terms, whereas when we think of political union, we want to have some, you know, concrete content. Mm-hmm. So our definition of the political union is to have a strong Eurozone, mm-hmm. with both an economic union, a budgetary and fiscal union, tax union, so some kind of social harmonization as well. And provided we have that, necessarily we will have to find some a better democratic legitimacy. And this will go with more power to both European Parliament and national parliaments.
A very last question. We've just heard the Turkish Deputy Prime Minister speaking and also talking about accession process of Turkey to the European Union. Can you envisage a time when Turkey is a member of the EU?
Well, my hope is that one day Turkey will be a member. As you know, it's a very controversial issue in France and in many countries. But I think that the interest of Europe is really to get Turkey strongly linked to Europe. I think it's a strategic interest. Of course, obviously, Turkey has made a tremendous progress in terms of, as far as economy is concerned. There remain questions about the state of society, judicial progress in justice and police, and this always is the most difficult thing to achieve, because you have to have a revolution in minds, and it takes time. And what will happen with the regime? Will it remain strongly dedicated to democracy? What will be the evolution? So we are waiting for the next elections in Turkey, and
we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Elisabeth GUIGOU, thank you very much for being with WPC TV.